Hello and welcome back to Daring and Doing. I'm Will Hester and I'm joined by the brilliant Ben Bowman. Ben, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, mate. Another game. I've got another game.
Yeah, it's going quick,
non-stop.
isn't it? It's going really quick.
December's intense, and it's only been 4 days.
Yeah. I was saying, I feel like we haven't done the pod in ages. I feel like the Fulham game was like a lifetime ago. How's your week been? Anything different?
Not really any different. Just it's been. I don't know. It's been all right. What day is it today?
Yeah.
Wednesday. It doesn't feel like it's Wednesday. It feels like I don't know what. I feel like I don't know what day it is. Just been.
Yeah.
Not much. Just been going gym and that, and just working hard and fucking. Not much. How's your week been, mate?
To be fair, mate, I had a little bit of a health scare. I was measuring my heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it was 41 beats per minute, like resting heart rate. Yeah.
Isn't that quite low?
So low. And I looked it up and I was like, for like my age, 20, looked it up and I was like, is this healthy? It's like,
Yeah.
It needs to be between like 60 and 100 or something. And they were like, but don't, like, some athletes, theirs is around 40. So I was like, I don't know whether
You
this
are
is
an
a
athlete.
I'm not a fucking athlete. So I was like panicking. And I need to call, I keep forgetting, but I need to contact like my GP and get that checked out. If there's any doctors in the like in the chat, like let me know if that's like if it's like a serious thing and I need to be quick on it. But Ben, if I fall like unresponsive during the pod, then
I'll call someone. I started smiling when you were talking about that because I thought you were leading on to a joke.
Oh, no.
But you weren't. So people are going to look at that and think I'm just like sort of laughing while you're going, yeah, I had a bit of a health scare. I thought you were going to say like, I don't know, you've got like Ange ball fever. Well, unlikely.
I've got the same STD as Mikey Moore, mate. I'm joking.
Yeah. I thought Ange handled that quite well earlier when he got asked about it. Like Alistair Gold, Alistair Gold was Alistair Gold, but he was just like, and he said it was not a personal thing, but he was just like, I've had so many questions about it. It's just like, he's a 17-year-old kid. Like, how do you feel if it was your son? I was like, I do get that.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, but we got to explore this, yeah. What STD does Mikey Moore have? What would you reckon it is? What do you reckon it is?
I don't know.
Because he's probably still at school, isn't he? He must be the top shagger at his school.
Do you reckon? Well, he's not.
Oh my god!
Do you reckon he goes
all
school?
over him.
Surely he don't go to school though. He's 17. Like that would be sixth form age, and I reckon he probably
guess
just does it
like a scholar or something.
Scholarship at Spurs. I reckon does
even
his
still
lessons and that.
Even still, he's probably got a fake ID. Probably goes out, cleans up.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He seems like a professional lad.
Yeah. I don't think he's like. No, I am.
Yeah, I think he's quite humble. He's quite rooted, isn't he? But I don't know. I feel like maybe would chlamydia keep you out for this long?
Don't know. I've never had it. Say diarrhea.
No, gonorrhea.
Oh, gonorrhea. Fuck knows. I'd love to know what actually is wrong with him. I mean, they're obviously not. Yeah. I don't know why they're not. I don't know why they're not saying, but
it's like really secretive though. It's kind of weird. Like
yeah,
they say like a virus, but
yeah, there was some rumors about like it was something to do with his heart, and that's why they were like keeping it. But then again, that could just be bullshit Twitter rumors. So maybe he's got the same thing. Maybe he's got the same thing as you. Yeah.
Mike, if you're watching this, mate, give me a call. We can have each other in this through this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got a couple. We got one comment on the last pod about gym talk. You're saying you've been going to the gym.
Yeah.
How's it been?
It's been good, to be fair. I haven't been today. I just haven't had enough time, and I would go in the evenings. Like yesterday, I went in the evening, and last couple of nights I've been in the evening because I just didn't have the time in the morning. And I enjoy it because I come home and I'm just like knackered and I'm just ready to go to bed. Like, because I'll do like an hour of like cardio and then I'll go swimming for a bit and then I'll do like steam room and sauna and then just come home and eat my dinner and then like go to bed. But tonight there's a load of football on tonight, so it's like I haven't just had another chance there. I should have gone this morning, but I'll go tomorrow and I'll go other days. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying being back. It's good.
I feel like when I've got to the phase now where because I've been going like 4 times a week, And when I miss a day, I feel like a fat piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like
that's
genuinely,
what I
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know why, because I'm been quite like consistent with it. But I don't. Like today, and I even getting to the point where like I'm all or nothing. Like in a month, I'll quit the gym. I will. I kind of already accepted it, and like I'll be like putting on the pounds, getting Domino's. Yeah, Julie, I work at Domino's, so I get like 3 Domino's. So, that'll be me in a month. I know that. But for Christmas, at least, like I want to feel good. And so I've been going like every day. And I actually ran to the gym today and ran back. But I get so self-conscious.
How far away is the
self-conscious. Like every time someone comes up to me, like 15-minute run.
Oh, right. That's good. That's nice.
Like a mile away. A mile and a bit. But yeah, I feel so self-conscious. When I'm in the gym and it's busy, as soon as someone goes near me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it wrong. They're going to talk to me. They're going to say, actually today, a guy came up to me, tapped me on the shoulder and said like, your form's looking good. I was so happy.
Really?
I was so happy.
Oh, that's
yeah. Because normally people tell me I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
That's happened to me so many times.
People actually do that?
Yeah, I've had it to me. It's like the most humiliating thing. I'm like, cheers, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
Now everyone just thinks I'm a dickhead.
Yeah, by the way, mate, you're doing that wrong.
But in a way, you're like, yeah. Thanks for letting everyone know. Yeah, no, but in a way, it's kind of good because then you're getting it right after. But at least
well, as long as they tell you how to do it right, it's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, it's so humiliating. Yeah, it's like the worst bit, and that actually gives me anxiety when I'm in the gym. Like it's going to happen again. But I was happy today. But yeah, let's move on to Tottenham then, because I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want. I don't want to talk too much on the Fulham game because, like I said, it feels like a lifetime ago. But would you want to quickly, like, sort of sum it up, like, quick thoughts on the game, how we played? Because you said before, like off air, like, just fatigue is the only way you'd really describe it. Same with Roma, same with like Fulham, just fatigue.
I think so. They just looked knackered on Sunday. There was a multitude of things that went wrong, I think, but I do think the fatigue was probably at the heart of it. Mainly, I think the main problem was, no Solanke and Kulusevski, but I think Solanke in particular, the difference that he makes to that attack is just night and day when he's not there. And thankfully he's ill, not injured, and hopefully should be back for tomorrow for the Bournemouth game. But yeah, it was so just never really got going in the game. Like, I mean, we had a chance in the first couple of minutes. Obviously, Son should have scored from some decent pressure that we applied. Good little touch by Werner, and Sonny should have scored. And look, I do think games like that are further evidence that Son has probably lost that bit of sharpness and lost that bit of, I don't know, but maybe it's also because he was playing down the middle against 2 physical centre-halves. He's never going to really be able to get into the game that much. And I think that's why you missed Solanke. I thought both of the wingers were poor, Johnson and Werner. They did really well for the goal. Like, it was a great cross from Werner and a really good finish from Johnson, again at the back post. But I think for me, the problem was, especially, it was almost like they felt like they were playing with Solanke and just playing on kind of the instruction that, or playing how they would usually play when Solanke was there, kind of just waiting on that last man and waiting to get him behind. When we didn't have, for Johnson at least, we didn't have Kulusevski to kind of knit things together down that right-hand side to draw players to him to open up that space. And Werner couldn't really get in behind that much because Iwobi was doubling up with Tete. Maddison couldn't really play those cute little balls through. I thought Maddison had a good game, to be fair, until he was taken off. But it was almost like the wingers were kind of playing, hanging on the shoulder of the last defender, not coming to feet, as if they had Solanke in the team to kind of draw that defence out and leave that space and create and combine, whereas Son just can't really do that. We know that Maddison loves to have someone to kind of get in there and like bounce off and play those little 1-2s with to open teams up, and that just weren't happening because Son just can't really do that. I thought the defence played well, other than Porro. I mean, Porro had a poor game, but I think it was so much like there's so many times where just like this guy's done, like he is just done, like physically. I mean, a doggy had one of his better games, I think, this season. And And Dragusin and Davis as a centre-back partnership, I didn't think we'd be kind of getting to this point with them there of not really making any criticism of them at all. They've been fantastic. Like Davis especially.
Davis, mate.
Body on the line.
Yeah. And Fraser Forster.
Fraser Forster
making unreal saves as well. Like the last couple of games when he's come in, I don't know what he's done. He's just like mellowed out in a way. Like, he's not making any erratic. Yeah, he's locked in.
He's in a winter.
He's not making any. There's no like erratic behaviours in his game at all. No. I feel like when he's come in against Coventry and did he play Europa League games? I can't remember. Galatasaray. He just looked frantic, didn't he? And the last couple of games have just been composed and doing everything we just need from him, which is look, you're so limited on the ball, just save shots.
Yeah,
sounds stupid, but that was what he was doing. Just you're obviously limited. Just stick to the basics of football.
Yeah,
and football. That's what he did.
I do think that obviously playing like a run of games consecutively, even though it's been 2, like does help with that. Like, I know it's only been 2 games, but and that's why like tomorrow I'm worried because I think obviously Man City, I think Bournemouth will be the toughest test for those 2 centre backs because. And Forster as well in terms of the press, like Evan Nilsson, they've replaced Solanke so well with him in terms of pressing intensity. They just get after you. They're a really good side, Bournemouth. And look, Fulham played really well as well. To give credit to them, and they deserve the point. I don't think they necessarily did enough to win the game. I don't think either team did really enough to win the game, to be honest. The red card kind of just killed the game. We couldn't break them down. I do think. Yeah. I question Ange in that game in terms of his tactical or in terms of the substitutions, not necessarily because of the tactics. I don't think, again, maybe he was just trying to save Maddison and rest his legs, but coming off with 10 minutes to go when they go down to 10 men to try and open up the low block, not bringing Will Lancashire on until the 94th minute, maybe you can criticise him for that. Not bringing Spence on. Porro was just clearly out on his feet. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets through 90 minutes tomorrow and then Sunday.
I was well surprised by Postecoglou, like post-match as well. Like, he seemed really sort of not satisfied. Obviously, he weren't, but he didn't seem pissed off. He seemed very sort of level-headed after the game. Normally, sometimes, like after a loss or a draw, especially at home, like he looks broken. Like he looks like he's like really pissed off. But he seemed pretty chirpy after, which I was quite surprised with. But then I guess if you put in this Fulham game into context. It's not good. It don't look good when you've just lost to Ipswich at home, as in home form. I mean, we scored. We were the first ones to score, so I mean that's positive. But yeah, exactly. But I don't know. Like it in the whole context of the season, and if you look at how tired our team looks, I feel like we just have to just move on as quick as possible. But I want to talk about the like the tiredness of the squad. Like, what is the solution to our fatigue? Because it's clear that our team is like currently burnt out, and that means like the intensity levels drop, the precision levels drop as well, and it's worrying because we've got 2/3 left of the season to play. Do you think like squad rotations? The solution. I mean, it's just hard when we're playing another competition, and genuinely, the way Ange plays football would mentally break David Goggins. Like, like how many players have we got out injured? It's all down to the system. It has to be because that never stop mentality is so tough.
And the training is so
tough, and the training is just non-stop. Yeah, I mean, it's like risk and reward because when we're on it, no team can deal with us at all. But you can just see the players are just getting burnt out. When you've got almost like vital players like Kulusevski, Solanke looking like they're tiring, that's when it's getting worried because they're the players that when they're on form, we're so hard to beat. And obviously Kulusevski was rested against Fulham. Solanke was ill, but he looked a bit. He was
so jaded against Roma.
Yeah, Roma. Yeah, exactly. So.
He was done.
So what do you think it is? Do you think like the solution? Do you think squad rotation or transfers? Do we just hold out until Jan and then see if we can get some reinforcements?
Both. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna to rotate the squad in between now and January is going to be hard. because we've got so many games, but we've already got a number of players out. You're looking at 16-year-olds on the bench. I don't know. I think short-term suffer. I think that's kind of what has to happen, really, because we don't have no other option. I do think that they'll use the January market. I do think they will, but how many players they will bring in to alleviate the stress of the squad, I don't know. Obviously, Min Hyuk Yang's coming in.
What a player!
Yeah, how much of a part is he going to actually have to play?
It's unfair though that we're like relying on players like Yang to come and save our season. And same with like Odegaard. I know he's injured, and I know he played he started the first 2 games on Ange. But again, they're so young. Mikey Moore, like they're so young, and they're going to be so good in the future. But it's like it's so frustrating because you don't want to rely on them, but we get to the point where we have to.
Yeah,
like Yang, you can't like it's. We need something. Well, no, I'm changing shit. We don't need something special from him, but it would be nice if he can actually have an impact. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Oh God, sorry. Whoops, I'm just yeah, I mean, everyone's going to have to contribute in some way, and especially like it was interesting the comments that he made today in the press conference about more transfers. I think we spoke about it before. Like Ange has always said that. Kind of had this attitude of like not wanting to let a window go by where he doesn't use it, which is good, especially because of how intense the football that we play is. I think he recognises that more than anybody. But I think he was also talking about like the way that he was speaking about certain players, like Richarlison and speaking about like Reguilon and Spence. And I think that it's clear that he doesn't really want to use Reguilon, even though he's on the bench, just kind of make up the numbers. It was quite clear that I don't think he rates Spence as highly as maybe we think, and I don't think he's physically up to. Well, he sort of said he wasn't physically up to starting multiple games in a row, even though he probably will have to get his chance at some point. And the way he spoke about Richarlison and the way he spoke about the need to kind of sign a new forward, like he said that, didn't he? He got asked, it was like, "Would you want to sign a new striker?" And he said yes. So I think that's Richarlison's kind. I think the patience. Even though he obviously clearly likes Richie and it's nothing personal, of course, obviously, he's just doing his job. But it's clear that he wants another striker because he knows the workload that Solanke has to get through to make this team a real force. Because, like you said, when we're on it, and especially when players like Solanke and Kulusevski are on it, who carry so much of the physical burden of that attack, like there's so much pressure on them too. So we need another option to be able to actually compete with him. And again, it's a lot of what it's a lot like people talk about Will Lancashire, and I think, come on 15, 20 minutes, absolutely. Like I think he should have come on earlier. I think that was poor from Ange not to do that. But I think, again, asking a 19-year-old to start those games, and when you look at the work that Solanke does, it's hard. So, yeah, they need January, need to rest and rotate, but unfortunately the rotation, I don't see how possible that is.
Yeah. I feel like the frustration with Richarlison is the same frustration we have as fans. Like we all love him. We love how he bleeds the football club. We love the passion, the shithousery, the effort he puts in every single game. But it's just so unsustainable when he's that injury prone. Like getting injured after like a combined 35 minutes of football this season.
Yeah,
and it gets to the point where even if it means he has to stay, I know like he will take up wages and stuff, but he's obviously not available a lot. So it's almost like you might as well not have a second striker. So we need to bring in another attacker.
Well, the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? For like, how many times? I know he's ill and hopefully should be back for tomorrow. Touch wood, and it sounded pretty promising from Ange. He said he's not 100%, but he said he's been training with us and he's much better, which was positive. And the fact that he's out there training is good. So, but you know, how many times have we said so far that we're one game away from Solanke getting injured, and we're one game away from Decky getting injured, whether it was his shoulder or whatever. Yeah. And Solanke, you know, is someone who, like, I mean, I don't need to repeat myself about Solanke because we know how important he is, but like, not having a backup striker, and it's not Ange's fault. Like, these are things you can't level at the manager. Like, I'm sure Ange probably, in an ideal world, probably wanted to move Richie on in the summer because he knew down the line that this would probably happen. But unfortunately, he didn't budge, and maybe we didn't get any offer. Who knows if we actually got those offers from Saudi for him? We don't know. Probably did. Like there probably was interest. Yeah. And I think Spurs.
Sorry. You carry on, mate.
No, I was just going to say, like, it's just the best ability. What's the cliche? Like the best ability is availability, isn't it? And if you're not available, that Richarlison is useless to us. And as harsh as it sounds, as much as he loves the club, and I still back him if he comes off the bench to do something or help in some way. He can make an impact for sure, but he's useless. He's basically useless to us. I don't want to be horrible, but he is useless to us.
Yeah. It must be like most frustrating for him.
Absolutely, yeah.
He knows it. He backs himself. He knows his ability, and he's just never ever available. So it just must be so like frustrating for him. And he stayed probably thinking, "No, I can do something in the Europa League. That could be my competition." How many appearances has he made this season? And the thing about our system is that if you're going to play the striker, you're going to spearhead the press. You're going to be relentless. That's what we're going to ask from you. Solanke's not an out-and-out goal scorer, but he's pivotal to the team just from the effort and the pressing he puts in, link-up play, the hold-up play. And it has a wear and tear on your body, even if you are like an athlete at the top of your game. Solanke didn't even have an injury. When was the last injury he had in his career before signing for Spurs? And he's already missed that. I know he was ill, but he's already had a couple of like knocks, and he's missed 2, 3, 4 appearances this season. Yeah. So it's such a demand on the body, the way we play, and we just need that backup. But what frustrates me, and it just has to be the fact that Ange don't rate him, was that our fullbacks, there's such a we don't have any backup for our fullbacks. I think we went into the season thinking we did. Obviously with Spence's pre-season, Gray, we thought like we can play fullback, which to be fair, he's 18. I actually think he's been doing an all right job like fullback. He's getting a lot of like criticism. I think people are just frustrated that he hasn't been playing in the midfield, but he's been fine. But we still backup fullback is still like, it's so clear that we need reinforcements in that position, because Porro and the doggy, they're so. I mean, the whole system is whatever position you're crucial to the team, but the way our fullbacks play. And the demand again on that position, the relentlessness of that position. As soon as you start dropping in that intensity levels, it has an impact on the team. And what has Spence done to Ange? Because like he signed a new contract a couple months ago, but Ange's comments on him were like, it was a bit worrying, wasn't it? Because do you think we're like back to square one with him? After seeming like there's been a bit of progress, because these are his quotes. He says, "I don't know about a major turnaround. I think a major turnaround is Jed playing regularly at this level. Just because he has hung around doesn't mean that is a major turnaround. I still think a lot that is Jed can a lot of fucking hell, mate. Every single pod I try and read something out, I can't read." I still think a lot of that is Jed continuing to train hard and wait for his opportunity. Fitness-wise, he is always in good condition. We train pretty hard. Could he start a game? I think he could. Could he start multiple games? Probably not. And then he goes on to sort of like just back up that point. But what's your feeling towards Jed Spence? Do you reckon he has I feel like we always have a conversation about Jed Spence and whether he's playing or not. Do you think he's slacking like behind the scenes? The thing is, I don't want to be like, I don't want to start saying rumors or make things up or try and find your own solution, because there may just be that Ange don't fancy him. It may, because I feel like there's always reports saying, "Oh yeah, he's late to training, not a hard worker." Ange is saying he's a hard worker in training, and would we have signed a new contract with him if there weren't positive progress being made with him?
Yeah. It's a funny one. I mean, you got to kind of look at it in the context the question was asked about. The question was, Jed Spence has had the turnaround in his Tottenham career. Where is he at fitness-wise, and will he play in the near future? And Ange is kind of right in saying, well, he hasn't really had a turnaround. I don't really know about that, because he hasn't played. And not ultimately, that is down to him. He wasn't registered in the Europa League squad, so there isn't the opportunity to play where in a competition where he was probably expecting more regular football to come from a personal point of view. So that's a massive shame, and I think it's probably backfired a little bit because. But then again, I suppose Ange is also kind of right in what he was saying the other day that it was quite a smart decision picking Fraser Forster in the end, wasn't it? Because we've been in a situation where, because it was probably like people were looking at Forster as the one as to why is he been picked when we've got those goalkeepers and just play Vicario. over Jed Spence, and now Vicario's got injured, and we've our only other two goalkeeping options other than Forster are two goalkeepers that have actually never played for us. So look, where we didn't expect the Vicario injury to come, I don't think people saw Forster as the one that just shouldn't be picked, or Werner. But then again, I think Werner is also important to play in those games because it gives Son a rest. But so you're probably expecting a lot of football to come there. I think he should have come off the bench more, because if you've got him there, you might as well use him, and especially like in the context of like the comments that were made in the summer about how he's really progressing and really, done well, and the coaches are really impressed with him, and the way that how well he played in pre-season for the most part. Like, it is strange, but I don't know. It's a really difficult one because we don't know what goes on, and maybe some of the other stuff is coming back to the front. Again, you don't want to speculate, and I think Jed Spence.
Yeah.
I think if Jed Spence wasn't working hard, I don't think he'd be on the bench, and I don't think Ange would be talking about, because it's not as if he's completely writing him off or slagging him off there.
Yeah.
Like he always he's training hard and waiting for his opportunity. Like, so he said particularly between now and Christmas, opportunities may come up for him. He almost got on the weekend, but like he was going to come on, but then Tom Kearney got sent off, but then again, the criticism for Ange is that I think he should have come on earlier, because I think even in the build up to the goal, where the game became really kind of basketball like, you could see Porro was fucked. Like, he was absolutely fucked. So yeah, an odd one. It is a bit.
Do you reckon there's a desperation behind the scenes from the club? Obviously, his whole signing's been a bit of a shambles because we signed him under Conte. Conte's come out straight away saying, "Oh, he's a club signing" and stuff like that. Do you think there's been a little bit? Okay, like, this is speculating again, and I don't think Jed Spence deserves any speculation about around him. But do you think there's some sort of manipulation going on about just how good Jed Spence has been in training and stuff like that? Obviously, like, the club feed the articles to the journalists, don't they? Do you think there's something going on there that, like, it's being blown out of proportion a little bit? Like, he's been more professional, he's got a place in the team, but people are getting a little bit hanging on a bit too much to the articles, saying how good he has been. Thing is, though, in pre-season, he was really good.
Yeah, and also amazing. The words did come out of Ange's mouth as well. Like, he did say, he said in the interviews that he's been doing really well. So it's a funny one. It is a I don't know. It's a really odd one. I think we all want to see him play more, because I think we all know there's a player there, and I think there's an element of we all know that maybe he hasn't been dealt the fairest hand at Spurs, but also he's also had a bit of a track record of going to other places and also showing problems of his own doing. So it's a tough one. It really is a tough one, and I think we'd all be thinking starting tomorrow night, because, like I said, Porro was completely fucked against Fulham. Like, he didn't play well. He had a poor game. Nelson made him look silly like multiple times, but you could see physically he just wasn't up to it, especially in the second half.
Yeah. So like we said before, I think we have talked about it, haven't we? Yeah, we have. Postecoglou said in his press conference today about, like, the plan to, like, bolster our attack and our attacking front line over the next couple of windows. So that's January and the summer. Davey Spurs has said in the January window, what is the most important business we do? For me, it's backup striker. I mean, if he said a couple of players in January and the summer, who would your two attackers be? Because I think I've seen, was it Lily White Lab? They're saying we need a striker and a right winger. And I said, mate, my two would be
Mamouche and
Wemo and Marmouche. I feel like Marmouche is unrealistic at the moment because he's just like the hot topic at the moment in the Bundesliga. But if you think about it, I don't know. He does suit Spurs. He's not a Gyökeres level. It's not like, because you look at like Gyökeres and he's a player you'd always be like, oh, I wish he was at our club. He's not that level of like the next toy in town. Do you know what I mean? He's not. Sorry, I'm sort of stumbling on my words, but but yeah, but I still feel like that's a realistic sign. About 50 mil he'd cost. I think he in January would come in and save our season in a way, because if he can transfer that form over to the Premier League, I think he has all the physicalities and the pace to suit the Prem and our system, but he can cover across the front line. So that's so much weight off the shoulders of Son, Solanke, Johnson, like everyone, and also that depth that we don't have because Odebear's injured because we got injuries. And I don't know. I think it's a little bit unrealistic, especially for January. But
yeah,
I think that's a signing we kind of have to make. I said it before. Like this is make or break. These 2 windows. I feel like a make or break to this process under Ange, and I feel like this is where we need to go big or go home. I mean, we go big every single game on the pitch. We need to back that up and copy that in the transfer window. I think he'd be such a statement. And then Mbeumo in the summer again. I feel like he's destined for Liverpool or maybe Newcastle. Newcastle have been probably the strongest linked, but he just suit that Johnson position so well. I think of just running into space, finishing moves off, and also I think he has a lot more strings to his bow than Johnson in a world game.
I still think for that right wing spot, I still think Semenyo is the one for me personally over Mbeumo. Yeah. I think it's close. Yeah. But I wouldn't say no to either of them. Put it that way, or Marmoush. I know Marmoush, you're kind of thinking more as a striker, but couldn't, like you said, can play anywhere across the front line. But I think Semenyo, because I think Mbeumo is great. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and I think, like you said, in terms of being the one that finishes off those moves, I think he offers you more in build-up, obviously, than Johnson as well. But I think Semenyo, in terms of like profile, I think Semenyo is more important because I think Semenyo. I think I saw a stat today while I was doing some research for the Bournemouth preview. I saw this stat a while ago, but I just wanted to check if he was still top, and he is. In terms of successful carries that have led to a shot, he is top of the Premier League, above Saka, Madueke, Salah. Like he's top of against all these. I'm not saying Madueke is a world-class winger, but Saka and Salah are world-class wingers, and Semenyo's above them in terms of being able to dribble with the ball and get a shot away. And I feel like that's not a profile that we have. We don't have someone who's got that physicality to. He's very two-footed. I think he can play on both sides. He loves a little step over, a little shimmy. He's got very good close control. He's a big, strong player who's quick, who's explosive. I think Semenyo is class. I really think.
Homegrown?
Yeah, I think so. I don't actually know about that, to be honest. I was just about to look that up. Is he homegrown? I don't know whether
he'll be all over that.
He's technically Ghana. He's Ghanaian. Although he's come through in England. Yeah, he came through at Bristol City, didn't he? And I think he's English born, but I think he's got Ghanaian heritage. So I think,
he probably never thought he'd get an England squad, but now he probably could. I bet he's thinking, "Fuck's sake."
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much competition with England. Like Bowen, you think of Bowen. I'm not saying he's like Bowen's. I mean, Bowen is class. Like, I was watching West Ham last night, and they should have won that game against Leicester. But it was like watching Bowen, thinking, I just feel sorry for you because he's mustard. He'd be a great one for Spurs, but I can't see that happening. But Semenyo, I think for me, because Ange was talking about earlier about like I heard a clip on TalkSport where he was like saying about the fact that we've got a very young squad, and he was like, in terms of building the process, like I want young players because I think, in terms of building towards the future, obviously you want a squad full of young players. I think they're open to more ideas. It prolongs the longevity of the cycle as well. And he said we've got a lot of players who are in that sweet spot, kind of peak years kind of place. Semenyo is someone who's 24, who's got a year and a bit's worth of. How long has he been at Bournemouth now? I mean, he's been at Bournemouth for...
He's been 2 years, hasn't he? Because I think last year he was causing us problems. He came on, or did he come on? I can't remember. He was just causing us loads of problems, but he looked quite raw. He didn't look like... And I feel like the development in just a year playing on the wing, because he came in as a striker.
Yeah,
and the development playing on the wing, he's just taking his game to the next level. Technical ability is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and no one can get him off the ball.
No, go and watch the... I spoke about it in my preview video. Go and watch his performance against Southampton earlier this season. The goal and the assist in that one, like it's just that's what we need. I do really think we need that. So Semenyo would probably be my number one choice, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I think about Semenyo is that one. I like talking about Mbeumo. He's 5'7". That means you'll have Porro and Mbeumo on the right, and that's like a combined height that wouldn't even be taller than you. So,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, if you're looking at the sort of size of the squad, you kind of want big players. We have got a few players that we can afford to have in the squad, like Porro, Maddison. I know Basuma's like 5'11", but he's quite like slight. You want physicality. I think that's the new sort of meta. He would come in and he's one of the most physical players in the Premier League, but combined with technical abilities and end product. And I'd be so excited if we start getting links with so many. Also, I feel like you can play left and right, but the versatility he has, he often comes inside.
Yeah, he does. That front three at Bournemouth is quite fluid.
It's really fluid, and I reckon he could be moulded into the Kulusevski position as well. Like you talked about the progressive carries, and link up play, etc. No one can tackle him. Stuff we talk about Kulusevski.
Yeah, he's right up there for like duels one percentage. Like he's in like top 10 duels one, I think, in the Prem.
Yeah,
and like most of the people ahead of him are midfielders. Like
And
again, in terms of, I think it was him and Kulusevski that were right up there for possession one in the final third as well, leading to a shot. Like high turnovers, he's right up there. I think he's another one that's just like, I think we need a bit more direct, rugged power, I think. And I think he gives you a bit of what Kulusevski gives you, but with a bit more, I was going to say a bit more finesse, but I think Kulusevski's got incredible class. I think it's more just about the explosiveness in terms of the pace and also that ability to go on both feet as well is something that Semenyo really does have. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all in terms of that. But he's played on the left for Bournemouth as well. He's played on the right. Like you said, he was kind of brought in as a striker. I'm not sure how much I'd like him as a striker for Spurs. But
no, he don't even like playing up front. He said like the winger position is his. He even said to Iraola, "Can I play up front?" last season, and Iraola was like, "I see you as a winger." And now he doesn't want to play up front. He sees himself as a winger. But that experience playing centrally, you can see it in his game.
Yeah, like they love to kind of drive inside, and there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of fluidity in terms of. I mean, they are. It's probably a good segue to talk about the game, but like they are a top side. I really, really like Bournemouth. I like what they've done in terms of the recruitment. I think Semenyo's been a big part of that. Interesting. I saw the other day that they were linked with Nicholas Jackson. They nearly bought Jackson, didn't they? It was like, here we go. I'm pretty sure. Like not the summer that Chelsea did, but like I think the January before.
Really?
They really nearly bought Jackson, yeah. Probably as a winger at that point. I mean, people forget that about Jackson, that he kind of played on the wing as well. But that would have been really smart. I mean, I think Jackson's quality, like not to big up Chelsea.
I know. It's annoying how good he is because he was such like a. I mean, when he was hitting the Suey off scoring a hat-trick against us, and like he
it again on Sunday
last season. Yeah, he will. I don't want to think about that game that week, but it was like, why is we got Jackson hitting the Suey after scoring a hat-trick at our stadium? Like, why am I watching this? Because he's so shit. And now he's like a top 5 strikers in the Prem. But I think about Bournemouth. No one's really given them their flowers. They sold Solanke now, and they're still excelling. And they didn't even splash the cash they got from Solanke. They probably still got.
Evan Nilsson was like 40 odd mil.
Yeah. Oh, was he 40 mil? Oh, I thought he was like 20.
I mean,
even still, it's a good signing.
Like, Bournemouth buying a player from Porto is actually nuts. But when you think about it, it's not really like look, we are both very much behind Ange Postecoglou, but I think there's a reason why a lot of people have said if things go tits up at some point, Iraola would be a very good fit for Spurs. He looks like a Spurs manager, and I
was just going to say
about it too much because it's like we are fully behind Ange, and I fucking love the guy, and I will back him.
Of course.
Obviously, this cycle does have an end at some point. Yeah, but Iraola, he looks like Poch. I mean, that's what it is.
Mate, I was gonna say, am I the only one that looks at Iraola and just thinks Pochettino?
High intensity pressing, good football.
Yeah.
Southampton were at like a similar phase to Bournemouth, like now.
Yeah.
Like he's
great young players coming through. Yeah,
he looks like Poch. He looks like Poch before they did like manager face scans on career mode, where they actually got like their real face. Like if that was like EA's Poch. Do you know what I mean?
He looks like if Poch and Unai Emery fucked and had a kid.
Yeah.
I feel like he looks like
Would you watch that?
Bit of a mouth breather. If Poch and Unai Emery forget like have a sex.
Yeah, have a sex.
I'd probably give it a go.
I think you've got to out of like
you got to. I'm not being funny. If it came up on our timeline Pochettino Unai Emery sex tape leaked, I'd be like,
You're watching that, aren't
I've
you?
got to fucking see this.
Yeah.
I'd be like that. Like, I'll be in bed next to Julia, being like, she'd be like, what the fuck are you watching?
Good evening.
Pochettino Unai Emery. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
I don't.
We'll get to a final.
I reckon Poch would cry after sex. I reckon when he has sex.
I reckon he's emotional lover. Do you think Ange does?
Yeah.
Or do you think he just sort of like grunts and lights a cigarette?
I reckon he grumps, throws the towel on his missus, and then just like takes about 5 minutes to get up. His knees are fucking hurting so bad, and then just jumps straight in the shower and starts scrubbing himself with a fucking brush.
He's got a loofah, or whatever they're called. Yeah. I've never ever used one of them in my life. I'm strictly like either flannel or like the scrunchy ones. Like the scrunchy ones are the best ones. Who is washing? Like, if anybody, please let us know in the comments. If anybody is showering themselves with one of those big sticks that they use to like do the back. And, like, if anybody has got one of them, please let us know, because I need to know how and why.
I feel like Ange, I don't know why I got this image in my head, but Ange just like in all his glory, soapy, scrubbing himself with one of them on his back, just completely naked. Obviously, he's in the shower, but I feel like Ange wears a little like gold crafted.
I was just about to say this. Chain. Yeah, definitely. Big like that. Yeah,
it's so hairy as well. He's like scrubbing at his pubes.
Yeah,
like, it's
like watching Tony Soprano have a shower or something.
Yeah, exactly. And his wife's just like.
Do you remember one of our I think one of my favourite segments that we did was what aftershave does Ange Postecoglou wear?
Yeah, that was class, mate. So many people got involved when you put it on Twitter.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good. Yeah, we need to have more things like that. Like, let's make that like a thing.
Yeah.
If people put in the comments like things that Ange Postecoglou does.
Yeah, just Ange, like just Ange things.
Like, just Ange things. We can make like a little like segment in the pod. Just Ange things. Like, what do you think Ange's meal deal is, or some shit like that? Do you know what I mean?
Until we get sacked, we'll do it for Iraola.
Iraola, yeah, exactly.
Get thinking of them as well. Get thinking of them.
Yeah. Just have that in the back of your mind after this month. We got tough on the fixtures. Yeah. But do you reckon if we go after Semenyo and Iraola, do you reckon Bournemouth are like, fuck off? Like,
Solanke, Semenyo.
I know. Kirkers, we're after him.
Oh, mate, he's mustard as well.
Yeah, mate, Zabani, we've been linked with him before. Kirkers. Kluivert's turned into like a proper player. I think he was a bit of he had a bit of raw potential, but he wasn't really fulfilling it. This season he's exploded. Yeah, Semenyo, Evanilson, like they've got some unreal players.
Yeah.
Solanke's obviously returned to his old club. Hopefully he
fingers crossed
does the business, and it's a bit of a fairy tale end to the game, but. Yeah, Iraola, unbelievable man. I do think he is like he's just so destined to manage Spurs. I can't. And actually, the argument of look, no matter what where your stance is on Postecoglou, like again, until death do us part, I'm all Ange in. But like the argument is that I've been saying is like, look at the market. Like, no one's out there. No one is. But he's someone that I'm like, if I wouldn't be really mad. Like I'd be pissed off if we sacked Postecoglou, yeah. But
big Poss.
If he was the replacement, I'd be like, okay, well that's something to get behind, I guess, because he's
definitely
like on the up. But
I think his trajectory is only going one way, and I think the good thing is, I don't want to speak it into existence too much, but it's like. You could make an argument from the outside to suggest that the foundations are a lot more stable at like a lot of other clubs who he could potentially go to. Do you know what I mean? Just like, then Villa aren't going to sack Emery. Well, actually, they fucking haven't won a game in 8. I know, like people say about second season Emery. I made a TikTok about this the other day and realised it was actually his third season, but second full season. So, like,
full season.
People say like second season Emery, they kind of burn out. But they're not going to sack him. Like Villa fans have said, I'd rather build a statue about him now. Like United have just got a new manager. Chelsea just got a new manager. Like I'm not saying this will happen, but like the big 6 club likely next to sack their manager is probably Tottenham. But I don't think it will happen. I still think Ange will be here this time next season. Yeah. But Iraola.
I know what you mean. There shouldn't be a taboo around it. Like, we both are very much Ange in, massive advocates for him. Fucking love him so much.
Yeah.
But it's well-run clubs will know. Look at Brighton; they'll know just in case. Bournemouth probably the same right now. They'll have a list of managers who think if shit hits the fan, we'll go for them. And Iraola should be top of the list for me. Like, but how much is he going to cost? He'd probably have like a 20 mil buyout. They'd probably make him sign a new contract as soon as say we're in the market or something, and then it would be almost too much money to. Bournemouth is such a well-run club. So how do you see the game going? Obviously, Romero's still out. We're going to rock up with. You were saying this game is almost it's worrying because Bournemouth is such a well-run, hard-pressing team to play against. Obviously, they beat Arsenal at the Vitality Stadium. They beat Man City. Do you think they can beat us? And how worried are you going into this game with obviously Dragusin, Davis, Forster? There's a few trigger presses in our team that they could really capitalise on, I think.
Yeah.
And it could be a really, really difficult game. I actually think it's going to be a really, really difficult game. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for this whole week. Like, obviously, we're going to get to Chelsea when we come to it, but obviously games are coming thick and fast. The fatigue we're showing, can we keep up with the levels of intensity Bournemouth are portraying in every single game they play this season? They're causing so many problems.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going to go?
It's going to be really tough. I think it's going to be a good game for the neutral, probably, as most Spurs games are. I think it's going to be really tough. Like you said, in terms of the trigger press, their tails are up after what they did to Wolves away on Saturday. You know, they got they certainly got one of the penalties with Evan Nilsson charging in on Jose Sarr and nicking the ball back. They obviously saw a weakness there. I think if you're a Spurs fan and you didn't get worried about Forster there, potentially you're probably lying. Even though I do think though, like Jose Sarr came back in for that one game. I don't really know why. Forster, like I said, Forster, Davis and Dragusin have played 2 games together now as a unit of centre-backs, well, defensive unit. So hopefully, and also like Davis and Dragusin on the ball have not worried me in these last 2 games, or last 3 games really. Like obviously Vicario was in net for the City one, and Vicario does make a difference. But other than there was one moment against Fulham where Forster misplaced a pass just like behind Basuma, and we nearly conceded a chance from it. I think he's been fine with his feet, and Davis and Dragusin have also been fine with their feet. Davis especially, I love Ben Davis so much.
Yeah,
I really, really
shake your hand.
I want to shake his hand.
Just want to shake your hand.
And in a way, like them pressing onto us might not be the worst thing in the world, because I think we're probably better coped to deal with it maybe than people might think. Looking at our back line, I want to see Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison again, because of one. Sarr in midfield because of the legs and energy that they've got on transition. They are one of the most direct teams in the Premier League. There's a load of stats that I got up in my preview video earlier in terms of how quickly they transition defence to attack. Semenyo, brilliant ball carrier. They don't want to play too many passes. They'll play possession football in their own final third, but from the midfield phase to the attacking phase, get the ball out wide and run. Kirkes is a big part of that as well. I think there will probably be people saying, with how much Kirkes likes to bomb on, do you play Johnson to try and exploit the space in behind? But also I'm thinking of it from a defensive point of view, and I'm thinking that Brennan Johnson just cannot defend.
He's shit at defending.
So bad tracking back.
Fucking shit.
Like I want Kulusevski, Sarr, and Porro as that right hand side to be able to deal with Kirkes.
Yeah,
and also you can get your channel runs from Solanke, you can get your channel runs from Sarr, you can get your big long diagonal from Dragusin in behind Kirkes, like we saw against Man City. If we kind of shift the defence all this way, and that's what I want to see Maddison drop into that back 3 as well, like we saw against Man City a lot in that left back position, allow a doggy to go on a little bit more. Maddison just helps those two build out a bit more. And I think Maddison's playing well at the moment. I think that has to be the midfield for me. I think it's probably our best midfield. I do think it is on balance, even though I think sometimes the Maddison Decky double 8, not pivot, but double 8 kind of thing. I love it. And it does really, really work sometimes. But I think for games like this where they're going to be pressing high onto you, I do think Maddison in there dropping in just to help us build out will be nice. And I think the Kirkes thing, I'm more worried about Kirkes going this way rather than how we can get in behind him, because I think regardless of Johnson being on the pitch or not, I still think we've got the prowess to be able to get in behind him anyway. And they are solid at the back. They kind of defended a bit in more of a 3. Like Adam Smith doesn't really go forward. So they'll be trying to target the Bournemouth left-hand side for sure. I watched Brighton beat Bournemouth a few weeks ago, and Brighton were excellent in that game. And I think one of the reasons why, and I went through this in my preview earlier, why I want to play Maddison is because I saw that link up with like Pedro and Welbeck, as Pedro as the 10. And like I said it the other day, I said it after the Fulham game, like Maddison really struggled against Fulham. I thought he played well, but he struggled because it's like he doesn't have that springboard in Solanke to go and like move. You know, like he does that a lot. Does that really well. If you've got Solanke in the team to drop that little bit deeper, Maddison can combine with him. He can pick up little pockets. I want Kulusevski coming in off that right-hand side like Ruta was for both of their goals and dragging Kirkes into the middle rather than trying to worry about going beyond him. Try and compact the middle a little bit more and play intricate passing. I think that's the way to get through Bournemouth rather than trying to worry about going around them. I'm worried. It's going to be a really hard game. It really is going to be a hard game, but I think we can get a result. I think sometimes these teams, the way they play suits us a bit more. They caught City massively. City was in the middle of the run. Arsenal, to be fair, had 10 men. As much as I want to give them credit, I think we can beat them. I do think we can, but it's going to be really tough. And they are also a very good side. It's so difficult because it's like at the moment we really don't want to lose games. We want to establish consistency, but the reality is that this Premier League is competitive and it will eat you up. You know, these are good teams. It's not like I think losing to Bournemouth away 3 years ago would have been like, what the fuck's going on here, man? I think some people will still treat it as that because we're in this bit of a rut where we just can't. You can see the progress and you can see what we're trying to do, but the results just aren't matching up, and there's a lot of pressure on Spurs to win this game. So, but yeah, how do you feel? How do you think we should go? Do you think it should be Decky on the right and Johnson off the bench, or start?
Yeah, I like your idea about Kulusevski on the right hand side because one of his best games last season was against Bournemouth at Vitality Stadium. Do you remember? Like we were
early days.
Again, it was early days, and I feel like people were tired. They were tiring after we were holding out. Was it 2-0? We were holding out, and then and Kulusevski went up front actually near the last 10 minutes of the game, and he was so good.
So odd.
Is that am I thinking the same game? Or was that Luton away?
That was Luton away where he went up front and we went down.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But he did play really. He played really well.
He scored. Doggy set it back for him, and he scored. And he had a really good impact on the right hand side. So I don't worry about Kulusevski on the right, especially like we were saying before in other pods. I don't worry about wherever Kulusevski plays. He's still going to be the best player on the pitch right now. So it's just a joke. So I think that's the best way to go. To be honest, I think it gives us more control. I'm worried. I am worried about this game. Because it's midweek away from home. Bournemouth are one of the hardest teams to beat in the Premier League, and they've proven that against Man City, Arsenal, and majority of clubs in the Premier League this season. They're hyped up for a reason, and I think it will be 2-2. I think it's going to be 2-2. What do you reckon the score's going to be up? Desmond, yeah.
I think it could be a little bit.
I don't want to be negative, and that sounds a bit defeatist because we're Spurs, but and this is Bournemouth. But like you're saying, the context of this season and the context of how we've been playing with when it comes to the energy levels we're showing, Bournemouth one of the most energetic teams in the league, and it's going to really, really cause us problems because the contrast, the juxtaposition between Bournemouth's energy levels, and obviously we are one of the hardest working teams in the league, but we just look really leggy last couple of games. If that's maintained and carried through into this game, we're going to really struggle with the intensity. And
at least Kulusevski had 60 minutes off, and
that is a good point.
Solanke, that's true. I mean, the thing is, where Solanke's been ill, obviously that's going to impact his ability to perform at the top level. But at least he didn't play, so he's got a bit more sharp or a bit more rest. I wouldn't say sharpness, the opposite of sharpness, but at least he's got the rest. If he needs to play, Solanke needs to play. I don't care if he's fucking bunged up to shit. Just give him some old bus oil and get out of there, son. Like, if Solanke gets injured without a backup striker, and that is our attack without him, what we saw against Fulham on Sunday, you might as well write the season off. Like, I don't want to ever make comments about like writing the season off. Like, people were doing that. I think people were joking about Vicario, and obviously we were really worried about Vicario. But I think the worry has lessened a bit now, and I actually think my attitude towards the goalkeeper stuff and signing a goalkeeper in January. Like, I think if you can sign the goalkeeper that you wanted to sign in the summer anyway in January, yeah, do it. But I'm kind of I'm not worried about Forster anymore. Maybe that's crazy to say. It's only 2 games. He could fucking drop a clanger tomorrow, so then I'll change my mind again. But
you're like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, where it's like, you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore. And then he comes out and he sees that goal and he acts. As soon as Forster makes like an error and sees a pen like tomorrow night, you're gonna be like, fucking sign a backup goalie now.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take back what I said. No, I don't mean until he has a clanger. Fraser Forster, I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah, I'll follow you until you.
And then as soon as he makes a mistake, and then as soon as he makes a mistake, bring in Anthony Patterson, even though I've never seen 1 minute of him at all.
Yeah. From Sunderland?
Bring him in. From Sunderland? Yeah. Bring him in. We need a backup goalie. Like, I don't know. I feel like fans are very like
Chevrolet or whatever his name was from last time.
Wait, who was it?
Chevrolet. Yeah, Chevrolet.
But I feel like actually, what's Mama Crash Vale fucking now?
Mamadashvili?
Yeah.
Yeah, can we get him on loan from
we loan him?
Cancel the loan at Valencia, Liverpool, and we'll loan him from you.
Get that Prem experience.
Because by the time we play Liverpool at Anfield, Vicario will be back. So
yeah.
It's not going to worry about playing.
We ain't gonna get near you, Liverpool, mate.
Yeah,
just
we
help
want
us
to
out.
win the league.
We
are behind you.
Exactly.
That's
just
why either Kelleher or Mamadashvili, loan us Alisson if you want, because Kelleher's been great. So
if you want,
only if you want, only if you're comfortable with it. Played well on. Did Kelleher still play on Sunday against Chelsea?
Yeah.
He did.
City, he did.
Yeah, he's your number one goalkeeper now, basically. So if you want to loan us Alisson, be my guest.
You know what? Though? That could be a really not Alisson. That could be like a smart loan.
What, Mamadashvili?
Yeah, fuck it.
Could do.
6 months.
Cancel the loan at Valencia, and we'll have him for a month until Vicario's back.
Yeah. Or play 4D chess, and make him shit, so that when he goes to Liverpool, there's an agenda against him already, and set him up to fail.
Yeah.
Just so. Phase 4 Ange ball, we're there.
Yeah, we
can compete.
Yeah. What phase? It tells me how that what's his name? Lee Gunner keeps saying, what phases aren't he slotting? When they're talking about
yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, we can just destroy his confidence like we do with most of our players, and then and it just be so low, and his self-esteem be so shit. Yeah, boo him. Yeah. and then 4 years down the line. We read the
he's going to have the nastiest like Brennan Johnson comeback arc.
Mate, I actually love Brennan Johnson. He's had such a comeback. I'm so happy. Again, he's limited, but
he's got I do think he's got 10 goals this season.
He's low in confidence still. But yeah, he's
in front of goal.
Like you're saying, that Sterling. No, that Sterling, that sort of Sterling mould. He's thriving in it. The back post or just.
I called that last year. I was proud of that.
Clever.
How long have I been waiting to make that video?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this one. Me. Yeah, it banged. That video absolutely banged as well. I was just like,
did it?
Yeah, I got like 150k, like nearly 200k views.
Really?
I was like, I told you, because I literally made a TikTok about it back in March, and I was like, he needs to watch Raheem Sterling, be Raheem Sterling for Tottenham, and then he came out with that interview, being like, yeah, I've been watching a lot of clips of Raheem Sterling. I was like,
you're like that. Please invest $1 in Bitcoin.
Just sat like that on the chair. That video kills me. Or that thumbnail kills me. But you can see with Johnson, like, I think even with the goal at the weekend, like, fairly simple, but the goal against Roma, that goal, his finishing has got a lot more crisp. I do think that. The left foot sweep finish into the corner. Like, we need another winger that is going to offer more in build-up than Johnson. Like, Johnson, in an ideal world, Johnson is not the starting winger every week. Because I don't think he shows enough.
Super sub.
Exactly. And I don't think he shows, and also unbelievable rotation option. Like, I don't think he shows enough to feet. I don't think he works hard enough defensively. I don't think it's a work rate thing either. I just think he just doesn't really know what he's doing. And I don't think he offers enough in build up. I think he wants the ball to feet and going behind, or he doesn't want the ball to feet enough. He wants to go behind all the time. So yeah, that's why Semenyo I think would would be great. And hopefully Dom Solanke gets on that pitch tomorrow after scoring a hat-trick, walks over to Semenyo with a match ball, whispers in his ear and says, "You're coming with me, mate. Get on the phone now. Ange's there, mate. Come Spurs."
What the fuck just happened?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just put your thumb up. Sorry, if you're listening on Audible,
Does it do that?
just put his thumb up, and then it's like
AI
is just taking over.
What the fuck is going on? Whoa!
Happy New Year!
Yeah. Do you know though? On like, if you're on FaceTime, if you go like that, like to do, I've done it there.
Whoa!
I'm putting into a prime Gareth Bale. Great audio listening experience. Basically, I'm making a heart symbol with my fingers, and
and it's creating a. Don't fucking do it to me.
Try and do it like the girls do on like TikTok, like that one. Or people go like that. I only learned what that meant the other day because I went like that to my girlfriend. She was like, "It means like they are supposed to complete the other bit," and it goes like that.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, this is shit for the Audible.
No, that was much better than mine. Yeah, it's just shit for the audio listeners.
Nothing happened. Ben had effects. I didn't. I was going to ask, how worried are you to sort of finish the pod? Obviously, we're a bit skeptical about Bournemouth. What's your prediction? I'm saying 2-2.
2-1 Spurs. I think it's a sort of game where it's like we aren't expected to win. Let's go.
I feel like we draw this game and then beat Chelsea.
That would be. I'd take that now.
I would take 4 points.
Man City and Arsenal lost there. Draw away at Bournemouth is not a disgrace. That is really
it's not a disgrace. It's not on paper. Maybe it looks like it, but really the context is it's not. And but how worried are you about this month, considering the fatigue and tiredness we've shown in the last week? Roma, Fulham. We got Bournemouth, Chelsea, Rangers, Southampton, Man United, Liverpool. Man United, Rangers, Europa League and Carabao Cup, but it's a very congested, demanding, intense month of football. And coming out at the end of it, we got one last question from Matt Sapola. Says, considering our injuries fixture schedule, what would be an acceptable position in the table by January the 1st? The most important games for me are Rangers and United Cup fixtures. But if we were to win those, and I would be willing to be within 4 points of 6th by January in 8th and 9th place. Look, I think the fans and the board have different ideas. Like for us, all I care about right now is the cup competitions. Like the league is so unpredictable, everyone's dropping points. I just want to know that there's see progress, which I think we are seeing progress. I know the other numbers show that, but it's the results aren't proving that. But what I want to see is I want to have the belief that we're going to win something, and I want to be 3 months down the road and knowing that again we're going to have another season of not winning anything or not. Even if we don't, I want to have the belief throughout the whole season that we're showing that we can win something.
Yeah.
But the board will see it as at the end of the month, if we drop loads of points, if we're 8th or 9th, and it's slowly that 4th, 5th spot is slowly
creeping away.
We're losing it. It's creeping away from our grasp. The board are going to get frustrated because the board want Champions League football, because the board want that sustainable finance consistently coming in for revenue, etc.
Just put another constant on. If you want that sustainable finance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I think it's hard to answer the question.
What do you think?
I think it's hard to answer the question in terms of position, because you could be 10th and be 3 points off 4th in this league.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is hard, but obviously I do think the table will probably start to take shape a bit more by January the 1st. However, there is a world in which Villa, Newcastle, etc. carry on dropping points. They've got, the run is as tough for them as it is for us. Villa have still got balanced Champions League football within that. I'm just using Villa as an example. So it's really tough. Like Brighton dropped points to Southampton the other day. You wouldn't expect that. And Southampton got robbed of a winner as well with the offside goal. So I don't know. It's hard to answer the question in terms of position. I think as long as we're still, if we get through it and we're as far away off top 4 as we are now, I think that's great, because I think it gives you a springboard to kick on in the new year with players coming back. 3 points off top 4 now, 4 points off top 4.
Yeah,
like the table will always take shape a bit more in the new year. So it's not. I know we're not going to win every game.
You're coming from this as a really rational point of view. In a month, say we lose. Look, Southampton, I think we'll win away from home. We will. I think. I mean, you never say never, but you know.
Yeah, I'm worried about Tamworth, mate.
Surely. Yeah.
Fuck them
Is
little
that
kids,
this month
by
as
the way.
well?
Fuck them kids.
Yeah. Fucking id. Like, I want to see him all crying.
Yeah.
Except the one in a wheelchair. I don't like.
Yeah, leave him alone.
I wish him the best.
Also,
Leave
I think
him
that he was an adult, to be fair. I'm not sure how much he was getting involved with the back. Maybe he was a child.
Okay.
Maybe he was a teenager. I don't know. But the ones who were like banging on the table and all that.
Yeah, fucking nice to see
When we
that.
get battered 10-0, I hope we put the whole first team out. We batter you and fucking little Tim Pot, shitty little Tamworth.
Yeah,
the only thing Tamworth's known for is Spudman.
Really?
Do you know about Spudman?
What's that? That's
on
Friends,
TikTok.
isn't it?
No, Spudman was on TikTok, the jacket potato geezer. He's got like a van in Tamworth and he goes massively big on TikTok and he just sells jacket potatoes.
I need to check him out.
Yeah.
I need to check him out. So all of them crying except him because he's actually doing a lot for the TikTok community, yeah?
Yeah.
And the guy in the wheelchair.
And the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Wish him the best. I'm worried because just the meltdown game to game that we're seeing. If say we beat Southampton, look, I think we'll beat Man United in the Carabao Cup at home. I think we'll have the advantage. Rangers, I don't know what's going to happen in that game. It's going to be really hostile. Chelsea, you never know. But if we come out this month with say 3 points, I think people are going to look at the results table and the results form over the course of the season, and people are going to get frustrated. And I'm trying to mentally prepare myself now and remember the conversation we've had for that moment, because of course you get caught up with it. We're fans. We're so passionate. Our lives revolve around Tottenham. We're going to go get emotional on the game to game basis. But like you're just saying, if we can maintain like a 6-point gap between fourth, it's not the end of the world. There's still hope. And if we're still in the competitions.
Yeah. If we're 6 points off top four come January the 1st, and we're like safely through in the Europa League or looking like we're going to be fine and get through in the Carabao Cup, I'll take that right now. I think you just got to block out the noise, because there is going to be divide. Especially if we lose to Chelsea, like people are going to get angsty. It's going to be like that. But I'm just trying to. I've just tried to, like, social media and that. Just try and block it out as much as possible. Just like folks. Oh, my dog's got. I think my missus just got him. So I might have to call him. But we'll be all right. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
It's
all right. Not the end of the world. And if Ange does go, give our Iraola a call, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
We've just come up with a win-win for all Spurs fans. Just be positive. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Good job, Joey. Legends, thanks so much.
Jones isn't buying us.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God for that.
That's so Spurs, isn't it?
Everyone was like, this is the Levy of the NFL.
Get someone else worse. Yeah, oh my God. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God.
Turn the Dallas Cowboys into like the most marketable, amazing brand in the NFL. Like, everyone loves them and they just don't win fuck all. Apparently, there was a documentary on the Dallas Cowboys. Like, weirdly, like, it's obviously bollocks. Like, he's come to London anyway. But weirdly, my stepdad keeps banging on about this Dallas Cowboys documentary. That is like, he said so many times, this is like Tottenham. This is literally like Tottenham. Yeah,
maybe it's worth a watch.
It's recent. It's really recent. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It's really recent.
But I mean, Ali Gold's come out and said it's not true, innit?
Yeah, it's bollocks. Yeah,
so it's not,
he comes to London every year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still wondering about the Amanda. Is it what's her name? Not Amanda Cerny. Fucking hell, that's a star, isn't it?
Wouldn't know, mate. To be honest, I don't know. Who's that?
No, what the fuck? What?
Before I go, the funniest thing happened to me and my best mate a few months ago, where it was actually on the day of the Bayern game, and what happened? Oh, I can't remember. I don't want to butcher the story. We was outside the Antwerp Arms pub on the day of the Bayern Munich home game in the thing, and it was me, him, and his girlfriend. And you know that film Long Legs that came out in the summer? Do you remember seeing about that? It was like a horror film.
Sure.
It was like Nicolas Cage in it. And I think the woman's name as the actress is called Mia. And they'd just been to see it. And I kept saying, I keep seeing stuff on TikTok. I keep seeing about like her performance in that in it. Like, everyone goes on about like this. People are saying it's a bit messy, but like her acting's really good. And I was like, oh, it's Mia something. Mia like Mia. And my mate, with his girlfriend, Beyonce, I just had sitting there, just went, Mia Malkova? I was just like,
oh,
I was
just stopped himself in.
Yeah, he was like, fuck.
Well,
I was like, No, George.
Well, actually,
Sorry, George.
well, we're actually really excited to tell you all that we're planning a Daring and Doing community away trip to Lily Phillips away. So if you do want to get involved,
it's the same day as it's the same day as Tamworth away.
Is it?
Shit!
What a day! What a day! Well, let's just see the timings and see what time's the Tamworth game. So
Work it out. Do you know what makes it even better? That it's also my birthday.
Oh my god, mate! You'll be the first one then. You'll be in front of the
triple header.
Jump the
Lily
queue.
Phillips away, Tamworth away, and my birthday. What a day that is!
What a night! What a day! That'd be mental. That's like the best birthday ever if we beat Tamworth.
Did you see that podcast clip of? I think it's the Scream Rock podcast where they were talking about like Lily Phillips, like in brackets, like
yeah.
Like get cans for the tray. It made me laugh. It made me laugh. But yeah, it was funny.
Right, legends, everyone. Thank you so much. I saw your comments. I'm annoyed at myself. I didn't get back to the comments, but all of the comments were amazing last step. And get involved again. Let us know. Let us know obviously the attackers you want to sign, but also the Ange, that segment on Ange, like get talking topics on everything.
Just Ange things,
deal is, or what's his favourite sex position, like all this stuff. Which I reckon he's a lazy fuck. I reckon he's just on the bottom. That's
missionary.
his favourite.
Oh, really? Do you think?
Missionary. No, probably like just like normal cowgirl.
Yeah, sisters probably. I'm just watching.
Biggest fantasy. So thank you so much, everyone, and on to Bournemouth.
Yeah,
which is going to be. Well, we'll see in a couple of days in the next pod.
Yeah,
legends.
Up Spurs.
Catch you later. Out of Spurs, quiz.